Hi everybody and welcome to another by Pen and Paper streams and let's plays, and we are diving into the game called Citizen Sleeper. It is kind of a tabletop RPG but in digital version, and it's been stuck in my head ever since I did the first hour. So I've been thinking about it and wanting to play it, and then like, god damn it, let's just throw everything else. We don't need to play that, we're gonna go play this. And yeah, I enjoy this. So I've already did a bit. That's why it drove me in. But I'm gonna start a new playthrough, of course. As we discussed, we have an option of Extractor, who is more physical. He can endure more. He has the strength of will, but less intuition and all that. We have the Operator, which is more on the digital interfaces side, which is actually good, and I quite quickly went with the interface and the intuition. But once again, we're gonna go with Mechanist. We're gonna be Frame SLPR M45 Slipper. So we're gonna be M45. A mechanist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to mechanist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Which I'm probably not, considering how often I upload and how often I create videos and that, but still, so. 45, Jesus, that sounds almost like a weapon. But never mind. We do have engineer skills, which is very good at the beginning, especially for some jobs and basically for getting any cash. We have less of an engagement, which is a problem. Again, a lot of things have an option of just engaging them, and you need to. We're playing. Oh yeah, perk. Efficient Extractor, chance of getting a random scrap item on engineer actions, which is good. Like, the design is also kind of weirder than the other two. This is like, this is. Do they have the same nose? No, they don't. This guy has different nose. Anyway, our mechanic is gonna be a little bit of a meek dude that just wants to help. Just wants to find himself and wants to help around with different shipyards or engineering work. And that's why we are gonna be picking this one. I also find it, I don't know, maybe the other ones are equally easy at the beginning or like useful at the beginning, but just gonna go with this. Again, the loading icon is behind my head. And I'm not gonna move the camera. Unknown. Where are you? The first thing you become aware of on waking is disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling. Between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at this it's at its worst when waking. When yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach, until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dull nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. We are stuck in a container, a shipping container somewhere. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. In an emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember others. You remember there were 10 of you. 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day, until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found a meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Wait for the call. Try to rest. I'm gonna try and rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but even then your body has shut many of its systems down to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again. To nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from the rigor. Sound too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, then softer and softer, until in a haze a dirty yellow of a figure appears. You are out, and we are on the station. Dragos, a pragmatic and private salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of improvised heater of enemy. Yeah, I hope my face doesn't cover the text. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, Your thought. I gotta find a voice. He's an old man, so it should be some. So, sleeper, you all out yet? Or something. I don't know. I'm not voice acting. Capabilities. Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in Sub-Zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches its irisy eye, locking you with an unflinching stare. The small drone. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. Now you struggle to read his expression beneath the deck, but he seems lost in memory of a moment, or perhaps he is just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. What happened to them? Yes, stay silent now. What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-road. But as you do, get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What is it what you won't know is what's ahead. At least, I have to have processing power on the voice and I fuck up flubbing lines, so I'm just gonna read lines. At least the last one didn't. There is no easy way to put it. The body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. As an ARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then no one can. Remember that too, or at least rumors of it, from the other sleepers. Bland obsolescence. A built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. This is actually cool. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You see it soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be working on with. He trails up. There is an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Nod. Alright, you head up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the rocks. His drone's already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Yeah, we don't really need tutorial, but sure, we'll cover it for a quick glance. So, cycles, which means days, you talk to characters, explore areas, and at the end of each cycle, you head to your current home, resting, forward decision. Head to the empty container and rest for now. So yeah, we got nothing else. We got our main character information. I'm gonna go with this. It's not a terribly good bonus, but it gives me enough that, you know, I can see what happens. Then it's probably gonna be interface, because I'm gonna interface a lot and I'm gonna need cryo, which is funny. So, end cycle. We can lose 2 energy and 1 condition. The system behind this, like the kind of tabletop RPG system behind this, is very simple and very good. Like, I don't know if they're ever gonna like publish it, or if it's published as like a playable option, so you can run your campaigns off the station. I mean, like as a player in real life. God damn it, not digital. But it would be an interesting thing. It's kind of like a survival, but simple. Like you don't need to count on too much shit. You just need to make sure you do certain things and you're gonna maybe survive. And we are stuck here in some of these crates, containers. 4 steel walls. You wake, curled up in a corner of the container, and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its message is readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. It's possible to know. After all this, what matters? What matters? Well, we have an option of escaping, or we have an option of getting answers. I think we're gonna go with getting answers, maybe? Nah, building a life, definitely. I need to build a new thing on our page. Check the sound a bit. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there is a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container: the mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some descanted powder. You turn the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images of your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. Constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking that they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to wait the day. I think we're gonna leave. I think we should have better accommodations so we don't lose that much food. Maybe. I hope that's gonna be happening later on when I find better place to stay. So yeah, we need to worry about these things. The condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes. If I'm starving, it depletes more. If it depletes beyond this line, we're gonna lose even more. I'm gonna lose these dice, basically. So, if your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what that is. It's probably death. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals. Action dice. At the start of each day, you roll action dice. This is the good system. Like you roll the action dice how much you're feeling better, and they give you certain success and conditions. The number of action dice rolls is based on your condition. Once you have used your dice, you cannot do any more actions, so you might as well go rest. Energy. Energy. Yeah, this is important because if I can leave it at 1, I think, and not lose 2 in the condition bar. If I go to bed with 1, but each cycle I use 2. So I need to make sure that this bar is as filled up as possible. The problem is I can only fill it by maybe 2 points per day. So yeah, I need to find some place to eat. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill the energy bar by eating, but first you have to find somewhere to get some food. There are some works that give me food, energy, or gives me energy and I think money. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, oh, maybe it's permanently 2. But there might be a way to like solve some of these issues. So we're gonna leave this. Oh, Dragos. Dragos is stood in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the Jesus, brain, read. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. The drone sits on his shoulder once again. Its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? No, not good. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. He's got one robotic arm. The artwork is beautiful. Like, it truly is. Also, I should have probably sounded like, you know, like I have that. I don't really know. Look, the microphone when somebody speaks to the throat when they have like issues with the throat, it just sound like that. Like I don't want to be that mean. He also looks like he has a bypass or something. Like he is an old man. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So I'm not going to chit chat too long. You well enough to work? Look, I'll be honest with you, Sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. It's interesting that it's called cryo. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use to trade out here. He stuffs them back in the pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. Sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are, for me, the yard, he pauses. I need help. I wanna ask why. I wanna ask why, but I'm just gonna be a helpful drone. Happy to. Okay, he pauses, thinking something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. So, we don't really have, well, we have access to the gate, but we need cryo to spend to get there, and we don't have access to anything else, so we might as well work. Tutorial 2, okay. So yeah, actions are primary way to interact with Sleeper, perform actions, you just drag dice here, there's risky, there's all that. I don't have the risk, I don't think I've noticed much of that, but yeah, there is 3 outcomes. The action goes better than expected, the action succeeds, and action fails. It's if I roll and the dice determine that, like if you have a 6 or if you have like engineer +1, which turns the dice from a 5 to a 6, basically you can, you know, change the dice. That's why there's like a +1 +2. That's simple as that. You simply change the dice upwards. You can change it downwards if you have a minus, of course, but only -1. So the thing is, these 2 dice, absolutely use them on the most crucial things you need. These 2, like, still 25% chance of negative effect is not that much, and there's like 75% chance of good stuff happening. These 2, fucking avoid. There is a mechanic later on we'll get into that's gonna help us use these 2 dice, but there is no, like, 50% chance, no. I've tried that in my first hour playthrough, and pretty much got most of the time it was bad, and that way you can lose health, you can lose energy, you can lose even like chits. So doing that is very risky. Like maybe do that in the late game. Like I think you can use once in late game, but then you can have modifiers that even get your dice +2. So you turn 1 into a 3, which is why not use it at anything else. So yeah, actions can reward you clock progress. That's clock progress on the it's behind this on like the quest. These are basically actions and quests. Clock progress is quest. Depending on their outcome, there are 3 types: positive, negative, blah blah. Let's go to the next one. So oh yeah, this is the type: critical, repeatable. Critical, I don't remember seeing many of those, but repeatable are the ones that you just do them each cycle. Safe, risky, danger. So no loss of condition on energy or cryo. Risky outcome means cryo or energy loss, and yeah, danger you can lose condition, and neutral outcomes mean cryo or energy loss. So like this is the thing. If it's a dangerous task, use the best dice like always for the best outcome. If it's risky, just negative, which you don't gonna use. And I mean, I'm probably gonna go back on my word and what I'm saying now, but this is just basic things I've noticed. So yeah, if it's dangerous, don't even try anything with neutral dice, because even neutral, it can give you lose energy or cryo, but depends on how dangerous and how you want to risk management basically. And yeah, this is the skill that you need: engineer's interface, endure, intuit, or engage. And this is the modifier that you get from your skills, which we have like engineer +1. So yeah, we have, so this is the cycle clock, or basically when we look at this, this is basically a quest. And we can do 2 options. We can ignore it, which is dumb, or we can do this. We can, because this little icon shows that this will progress even if we are not here, and this is gonna have 8 cycles because before the debt is called in. So Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or 2, things could get nasty. But if so it's not collected to anything, we have no influence on that. But if we do one of these 2, so it's hull dissection or manual salvage, we increase this, which also has 8 bars. Every salvager knows they are always just one lucky haul away from their new payday back in business. This is why it's better to start with either engineer or not enforcer, whatever, the other one, because you can do this, or you can do this. This is safe, but this is risky. So, and we can do this and get 100% positive. The thing is, we don't have anything else to do at the moment, so we can do that. So why not? Let's just do this the best way possible. I know it's gonna trigger something, but let's just try and do it. The ugly screw part. Okay, so actions often progress clocks, which is this. This is clock. I've just explained more or less this. Clock displayed actions, tracking actions, failing some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos, cycle clocks, blah blah blah. Yeah, pretty much explained all of that. We need, oh, it's switched, and, fuck, I didn't notice what I got. I think I just got, yeah, I got 2 progress because we had 100% success, and I've got 15 crime. Date and all that is gonna be something else. I'm gonna leave, and now we can go everywhere else. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives. Drives are quests. This is survive, find out after. As you discover more about yourself and the world, drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive via menu, arrow button, top left of the screen. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye. I think that's how it's pronounced. Make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember, and cycle at home when you are out of dice. Yeah, we can move this thing. Okay, so we have a shipyard. We can do some engineering work or manual labor work. It progresses this quest, which is good because it's gonna give us cash. This is a good cycling clock. Helion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helion system are rare, but those that do always return eventually. So this dock A. Oh, did it bug out? I think it bugged out. There are some issues and some bugs like this. They're not an issue most of the time, just visual something. Salvage sortie. So this is gonna be, ships are gonna come and I can do something about so these quests are gonna change into some other stuff to do. I don't know what to say. I should do this, but still dock plans. I don't want to get on the Havage watch list, and explore the tundra could be a little bit risky. Plus, I don't really need that right now. I need the Bright Market. I need to explore it as soon as I can, because it's gonna give me my most useful things, and it's good that I have at least 3 4s. I'm starting off relatively decently. So I can ask for directions, which is dangerous because I'm a sleeper, I'm a robot, and some people might either want to kidnap me, kill me, stab me, or rob me, so that's not good. But I wonder if when there are hundreds of people, yeah, I can approach a bad person, so I'm not gonna engage in that. I'm gonna just explore the market carefully and casually. The smells and sounds and buzzing activity of Bright Market makes it a dizzying place to wander, but an enticing one too. It's risky, but it's not dangerous. Dangerous would be even the neutral. Even if I get the neutral result, I'm gonna get something bad. So let's see if this turns out good. Local knowledge. 1. You manage to follow the flow of people and you start to appreciate, even enjoy the chaotic layout of markets. Let's see what we discovered. I don't know what it says here, but it's decaying habitation block. Hub block. Next! Comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that the doctor was operating out of this place, but now you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your questions are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body will. You suppress a shiver and shuffle towards the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Let's look at the enforcer. The enforcer is looking down the corridor. You dare to glance at him. His purpose is unmistakable. He is there to intimidate, to threaten, and if necessary, carry out those threats. His broad shoulders are framed with a metal exoskeleton. A couple of mirror-like implants sit below his eyes like mercury teardrops. Subsidiary sense input or static markers, you aren't sure. You also aren't familiar with the geometric blade-like tattoo on his arm, but you make a note of it. You avert your eyes when he looks back at the queue. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. Send in the next one, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the puzzling traffic above, and for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. Come sit. Comes the sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. Sabine, a doctor in the Bright Market. The bag and the design, the artwork is really cool. It's again one of the things that brought me back into the game. Just simple drawing of a character, but still so cool. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak, they blink, and they quickly regain their composure. Please sit. They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. Remain still, please. Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been on this station? They ask, the scanner still on their eye. Still to their eye. A few cycles? They nod. It's good you came to me, they said, the diagnostic scanner to the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNRP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose, to prevent bodies like yours, frames, as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping. They built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, on which SNRP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? How do you know this? They shift in their seat. You aren't the first sleeper I've encountered. Wait for more, but they go back to their inspection. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you are unsure if they meant for cold touch or of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. You focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNRP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away. Brain! Disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Disassembling. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes. Hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside? You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatakan. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections, smugglers from the starboard belt, mercenaries working for their corporations or Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it will be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave. Sabine still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. There's something here. So now we need to wait. This is kind of a waiting quest. We need to wait 3 cycles while Sabine is sourcing stabilizer. If they can source some stabilizer through Yatakan, but it's going to take 2 cycles. 3 days, not too much. We have some cash, but we're gonna go and figure out if we can get more connections. We can find some stuff. Local knowledge 1. Managed to follow the flow. People start to appreciate and enjoy the character layout. So let's see what we find. Ooh, yes. Memphis. Street food vendor. An imposing street food vendor. Memphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented fork. His other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables in some red fleckled dressing. The smell is incredible. Again, the design, like how much vegetables and fungi and everything he has, just a wok. He's like a wok burner. That's all he needs. He just moves, makes that, goes away. You watch as he fills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rustles in his apron pocket as customers file past the burner, handing over payment. Approach. You join the queue. It's mostly made up of duty salvagers, wax suits unzipped and rolled down to expose the stained vests, grubby mods, letters of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, best drink, comparing notes on bright market dives. Their words cut through with heavy spacer slang. Eventually, it's your turn, and you shuffle to the front. Memphis speaks in a deep, even tone, without looking. First try is free. Thank you. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. I have cybernetic robot eyes. They water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you. You sleepers. Memphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life. A lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container, the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time, we can talk some more. He smiles, but next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against a button on the burner side and it shuts off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks, which is this. So he has a story as well, not just a random cook. This is what brought me here. Like all of the characters you meet at the beginning, they all have their stories. That is one of the most amazing thing about like tabletop RPGs. You have a story, but all of the other characters have stories. So if you combine your story with theirs, it just makes the perfect story, collection of everything. You walk away, and as you do, you make a bite of rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste sensors light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. I will be back. I fucking need food. But this is good. I am full up on food. I have a new drive, which is, yeah, I need to survive, which is wait for Sabine. We help pay off Dragos' debt. Yep, and stories and food. Maybe it's fine with food? Get the story. Okay, so I can eat for 15 cryo. And 4 times we get something, we progress the story. But I'm full. I have 1 dice. It is important for me to grab cash and help Dragos as much as I can. But also I need to invest in like figuring out the bright market and figuring out Rotunda as well. So, also there is this, I forgot. Shipyard. I need to work on shipyard. I can get this, and it's positive or neutral. But I'm gonna help Dragos out. I don't think I'm just gonna progress it maybe 2 more if I get lucky. So let's see what we can do. Ooh, nice. Beneath the pockmarked hulls, you find hidden containers, alloy plating, and wire-bound bundles thick as your arm. 17 is chunky. Good. We had the best positive result. So now that we are empty on stuff, empty on dice, we're gonna lose one dice if I remember correctly, because the moment we get this, we're gonna lose dice. So it's all okay. We didn't lose any energy. We are fed, and we can go and cycle. Just turn this on. Wait, I clicked leave. You can cycle. I'm progressing far slower than I did in my first hour, apparently, because I don't know, I'm focusing more on the game. I don't care. 4 steel walls container. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station that shifting skeletal ring surrounds you. For a moment, you're gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across the colorless void. Then, connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Is it gonna observe or touch? Forgot. I think I was just observing. Let's I don't want to touch it, let's observe it. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud, with spokes inspired to jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing, full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You noticed a tugging feeling pulling at you, insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in 2 directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you. Shift. Close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there. Stations splayed out across your mind. A storm of connecting nodes waiting to be explored. Then it's gone. Oh, good. I have good dice. I have very good dice. I have amazingly good dice. Okay, so I have to wait here. I can survive 2 more days without food. The bright market is there and nothing else is happening here. So I can go here. So I have a 6. 6 is amazing. 6 is something I need to use for something which I'm not good at, like this. I should definitely use it for this. It's something that you need done, or something that I have no bonuses in. So this is gonna be amazing. Let's explore the rotunda. I remembered why I need the rotunda. I need it. The rotunda of the old dock is filled with passageways and concourses leading to all kinds of docking bays. You systematically work your way through the busy passageways, noting some locations of interest as you do. Yeah, I get to in the dock launch. So we can go overlook bar. Get a drink. You're unsure if your drink can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink fermented along the green way seems like a good test. So if I spend 6, I'll get something, or I can buy rations. I'll keep some expired Solheim rations behind the bar for those weary spacers who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. So I can get food there or there. His is expensive but gives me 2 bars. This maybe gives me 1 bar. But let's go trigger this. Ankhita. I think it's Ankhita. A stranded mercenary. Hey you! Want to run a chat? Ankhita stands beside a huge pile of tied together hull plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Make it too? Get the last. This goddamn station. She sighs and pinches the bridge of her nose. Alright, come here then. You cross the docking course as she begins to split the plating into two bundles. What is it with this place? She asks as she angrily lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up. At an imposing height, her armor plates creaking and looks you up and down. Or is it just that you all think I'm an easy mark? You look the part. Yeah, don't anger her. We all need to survive. And Kita softens. I get it, I do. She shakes her head. But if I could go just one cycle without some jumped up grifter trying to take me for an idiot, then that would be nice. And Kita hoists one bundle of plating. I'm trying to imagine this in my mind and it's ruining me. Onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn those chits. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Nikita gives you a look. Ship's this way. And she sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through the small crowd of stevedores. What's all this for? Why are you doing this yourself? What's all this for? Oh, this? She nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. She gives you another of her looks. It's for the Bergis, that cutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind her. She got cut up pretty bad on her last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from our ship mine, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. The upshot is that I'm short one ship mind with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they caught wind of it being stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. Anything I can do to help? Anything I can do to help? I don't know. Got the ship mine tucked away on that frame of yours? For a moment you aren't sure if she's serious. And Kita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She holds the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. Well, depends. I am kind of stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the Ambergis outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Nikita throws you a couple of chits. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, get out of here. She calls back and locks the She calls back and the lock slams shut. So another drive, which is fix the Ambergis. There's a lot of things we can do there. So I can't rewire this. Still a skill upgrade. So that I think is in regards to my let's be the character. So for that I think I need where's the control? Intuition? No. I think it's this. I think I need the interface, but at some point. I don't know which point. So that's probably why I can't. Yeah, it's interface. So that's probably why I needed +1 to be able to do this. But I can still repair its hull. I can do the engineer work. And ground Ambergis is a delicate condition. It will be all too easy to push it over the cascading collapse. This is a cool mechanic. So there's 6 times I can fail, or fail spectacularly, but I need 8 times to complete this. So I'm gonna leave that and that for now. What do we have? I'm gonna go do some work actually. I need help him, and I need some chits. Good, back in business. Takes you a while to get a handle on Dragos' equipment, but before long you are precisely slicing down whole plates into neat piles. You're doing very good. And we still have a lot of cycles to go through. I don't think I get anything useful from here just yet. Should work on this. Like just, I think the thing is, I need to work on completing drives. That's the thing I need to do, because that way I will get skill points or upgrade points which I can use. The first one being this, so I can see what I get and what I don't get. And then this one, which is I can quickly complete this drive, and I think survive as well. I think I just need 3 more. Get to know this. Yeah, I need to eat, but I don't want to waste money and eat. That's gonna be a long term. Fix the ambergris as well. So I need something quicker. I think I can know something. So let's try and explore the Rotunda again. Just get one more. Yes. Okay. Dog Watcher, not a lot. That's good. We got just one. The passages are dizzying, but out of intuition or sheer luck, you stumble onto a new location. It should be sealed dock. Yes, that's what we need. But I don't know if I should trigger it right away. Let's see. Oh yeah, I can't unlock it. Okay, that's I forgot. I need a maglock. These old maglocks look like they each need an encrypted key to open. Why the heavy security for a decaying dock? I need 2 of them. So I'm gonna deal with that in the next cycle. So let us see what the next cycle brings.